Welcome back, students. My name is Aman, and in today's video we are going to take up another query, and that is that now that CLAT is going offline, ab kya hoga, right? So firstly, what we have to really understand is that it isn't a big thing that the exam is going offline now. There have been a lot of reasons why the exam is going offline. One was, as we all know, 2016, 2017, and there were a lot of issues on 18 again. A lot of students complained that the PCs were not working, or there were a lot of technical glitches. To overcome all of that, CLAT body has now decided to go offline. The exam will be conducted offline. Now we have to understand how this is going to change your preparation style. And if you ask me, do we need to change anything? The answer is no. But at the same time, we need to be well aware of what we are looking at, right? So let's look at the major advantages what students have got, right? So every time there's a change, rather than looking at the disadvantages, because there's been a lot of students complaining that this is not the way to go about this, and there have been a lot of scholars saying that the exam should not have been moved from online mode to offline mode. But my personal opinion is that at this stage, it is better to have the exam in the offline mode. So let's quickly start with the advantages of CLAT going offline. Now, the first basic advantage is that of ease of browsing. When you start your exam, you can actually go through the paper within first 15 to 20 seconds, and that will give you a fair idea as to how tough the paper is. For example, if we look at the CLAT 2016 paper and compare it to CLAT 2018 or even 2017, right? CLAT has been very unpredictable that way, and that's also one of the reasons it is very imperative to understand the difficulty level of the exam. And with the exam going offline, that can be done pretty easily because you can quickly move on to all the sections, you can quickly glance through all the sections. So ease of browsing is a definite advantage for all the students appearing, right? Next is that when we were giving CLAT online, there was no way, although there used to be a tab where you could see the paper in the PDF format at one go, but it was still a pain. This is no more the case, right? So you can pick your particular section. You can quickly maneuver between say English section or the legal reasoning section. So that problem again should not be there. A lot of students used to complain that when they were trying to toggle between sections or between questions, the system won't work, or it was too slow, or they would panic because it won't change. So that won't happen, which is a big relief for all the students, I believe. Next, if we look at this, the other advantage would be which section to choose first, right? So for example, if you have gone through the full length of the paper, and now that you know that maybe this year legal reasoning section is not that difficult, so you may choose to start with that particular section, which was not that easy to do in the previous exam. Now, why do I say this? Because in CLAT 2018, the section name wasn't there. So it was up to the student to understand or to analyze that what section is this. And with the change now, right, that the exam is going offline, that confusion need not be there, or that confusion won't be there anymore. Now, the next important advantage is that we are pretty much safe from all the technical glitches that have been happening for last few years. As I had already mentioned in my video, 2016 saw a lot of technical glitches, 17, 18 technical glitches where systems were shut, or someone else who was appearing for the exam, he was moving his or her leg, and then something happened to your system and your system stopped working, or the mouse wasn't working. So all these issues have been reported, and there was a case before the Honorable Supreme Court of India regarding all of this. So technical glitches won't be there anymore. Now, the most important point here is that we are not hoping that there would be any technical glitch, but then at the same time, there is always this anxiety right? That something may happen, right? So that anxiety need not be there, because there's no computer involved in this offline exam. Now, if we look at the next advantage, that would be that it is easier to attempt mock tests. Earlier, it was mandatory that you go online and you appear for your mock test. A lot of students used to complain that they don't have the same reading speed while looking at the screen what they have otherwise, because fortunately or unfortunately, throughout our boards, through our 10th, 11th, 12th classes, we are mostly reading stuff offline. So a lot of students had that complaint also, that they were not able to match up their speed when they are reading stuff on the screen. And it will be a lot easier for majority of the students to now appear for all these mocks and analyze their mocks, as most of the mocks will now be offline, because if we look at it from another angle, it is now only MHCET which is going to be held online as far as the law entrances are concerned. So that is another advantage. Now, quickly moving on to the next advantage, that is reading comprehension. Now, reading a full passage online or on screen was never easy. A lot of students used to leave the reading comprehension part just because they were not or they were not able to adapt reading comprehensions on the screen. Now, this may not be the case anymore, because a lot of us are at more ease doing these reading comprehension passages offline. So that advantage again is there. Now, with all of this, there are a few disadvantages also. I would not really say these are disadvantages, but we still have to keep in mind that there will be few issues if the exam mode is now changed. The first and the most critical part is that there is no option to change your answer. Remember, when you were giving the mock or the CLAT exam online, mock or CLAT exam both ways, there was always an option to go back and change your answer, because your answer was recorded online. But now, when you are marking your answer on the OMR sheet, once you mark the answer, there's no way to change your answer. So you have to be very, very clear as to what answers you have to mark. The other problem is that a lot of students tend to mark answers in a loop. For example, they would solve, say, 50 odd questions and then mark answers for all of them. Now, that again could be problematic, right? So a session would be that maybe you should just question and then mark your answer, read a question, mark your answer, or maybe do it in lots of 10, but not more than that. But yeah, the major disadvantage is that you can't change your answers once you have marked on your OMR sheets. The next big disadvantage would be that there won't be any clock. Now, this is an advantage as well as a disadvantage. Why I say a disadvantage? Because you'll have to look at your watch, or you'll have to keep up to the time. But at the same time, a lot of students also used to feel a lot of pressure because of that clock clicking all the time. So it is how we look at it, right? But yeah, not having the clock at the side could be a little disadvantageous to few of the students. So to summarize, there are few advantages as well as there are few disadvantages. At last, I would also like to say that if you are prepared well, it would not, or it should not matter whether the exam is offline or online. I'm saying this because as we are just a month away from CLAT registrations being closed, there was a news item saying that if the CLAT applications increase a particular number, then the CLAT committee may still go in for an online exam. But all I would say is that you need not worry about all of that. Just focus on your studies as of now. Don't worry about the exam mode.